Browns and Chiefs Sunday at 1 o'clock at FirstEnergy Stadium. The Chiefs come to town with just one loss. It was to the New England Patriots. This is one of the best teams in the NFL, a real Super Bowl contender, and it's really because of their offense. Not only do they have Andy Reid as their head coach, one of the most forward-thinking offensive minds out there, but Mary Kay, now he's got his quarterback after they move on from Alex Smith, draft Patrick Mahomes, hand him the reins, and he is a true MVP candidate.
Well, let's hope for Browns fans everywhere that Baker Mayfield is as good as everyone thinks he's going to be, because otherwise they're going to have to be talking for the next how many ever years about how they also passed on Patrick Mahomes. Now, it makes up for it a little bit by the fact that they selected Myles Garrett, and he's second in the NFL right now with 8 sacks. But it's tough to watch Patrick Mahomes and start to think what may have been. He is just playing lights out. He's got an incredible arm. He has 26 touchdown passes already, which means he's on pace for 52, which is unbelievable. Also on pace for a 5,000-yard season. He's got tremendous weapons around him, which of course makes all the difference. Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, it goes on and on.
Yeah, of course, Kareem Hunt, the local guy who put up big numbers at Willoughby South, is starting to put up big numbers again in the NFL this year. Was a Rookie of the Year last year, and now he's just been able to offer that rushing attack behind Mahomes' passing attack. But the thing about Mahomes, anybody who's watched him, the arm angles, the arm strength. We all remember that left-handed pass that he threw early in the season. This is a guy that is not only difficult to bring down, but he can make plays when it appears there aren't plays there.
Yeah, he is quite the playmaker, and as you said, he can throw it from all different angles. He can throw it, he can take some off of it. You know, he was a former baseball player. His dad was a baseball player, and not only that, but players will talk about his ability to scramble and extend the play. So he can basically do it all. And when you couple that with the fact that Andy Reid really has borrowed pages from his Texas Tech air raid offense and is giving Patrick so many things to do that he feels comfortable with, it's just a marriage made in heaven.
And you mentioned Tyreek Hill a little bit earlier, obviously one of the fastest players in the NFL, maybe the fastest player in the NFL, a guy that the Chiefs like to move around a lot. They'll bring him in motion. They'll get him the football in a lot of different ways. And if you lose track of Hill, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a tall order for Denzel Ward if he is trying to cover Tyreek Hill. And I'm sure they'll mix it up a little bit so that it doesn't all fall on him. And, of course, this week that you've got your defensive coordinator, who is also the head coach now, in Greg Williams. So he is dividing his time between trying to get ready for the high-flying 7-1 Chiefs, #1 scoring offense, and also being the head coach of this football team.
Now, the good news for the Browns is the Chiefs have not put up great numbers defensively. Some of that is because this offense scores so quickly. The defense is right back out on the field. We've seen them in a number of shootouts. But the one thing they do well is they get after the quarterback. They are tied for second in the NFL in sacks, and that is an area where the Browns have struggled.
They really have struggled in that regard. And you saw it last week against the Steelers, and at that time they were somewhere right up in the top with 22 sacks. These guys are, I think, second with 24 sacks. And that's where the Browns have struggled. I mean, there are some issues on the Browns' offensive line. There are issues with protection right now. Part of that comes from the fact that the game plan hasn't necessarily lent itself to Baker Mayfield getting the ball out really quickly, maybe focusing on the run, doing some shorter things, moving him around a little bit, and basically just giving him things that he feels good about. He will have Rashard Higgins this week, so I think he will. And if he does, that will help him tremendously.
All right, so time to make some picks. The bottom line for me, Mary Kay, is the Chiefs are a Super Bowl contender. The Browns have an interim head coach and have moved on from their previous head coach and offensive coordinator. A little bit of disarray around this team. I don't think they beat the Chiefs, even if that isn't happening. So I'm going to say Kansas City 35, Browns 23.
Well, I'm going to go with a similar score to what these guys have been scoring on a week-to-week basis. The Browns are 24th with about 21 points a game. So I'll say somewhere around 36-20.
All right. You make your predictions down in the comments. And, of course, stay tuned to cleveland.com/Browns for all of our coverage of this game.